So here we are again, again, one more day live. This is Boricua Science Nation live on Sunday. Okay, it is 5 o'clock here in Puerto Rico. So we're gonna start. We're just gonna start with. We're gonna get us. We're gonna get this started right away. Right away. We're gonna talk about a despicable man today, or some of the despicable men in boxing. Okay, but I want to start by reading something that I got here. I got a news article on Edgar Berlanga and his fight, the biggest prospect in many years since Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson was the last knockout king. We have Deontay Wilder, who is a knockout king, but we have a Puerto Rican knockout king as well. His name is Edgar Berlanga. Okay, so it says like this. It says sources: Emmanuel Navarre, Edgar Berlanga about to co-headline April 24th card. Okay, WBO featherweight world titles Emmanuel Navarre will make the first defense of his belt on Saturday, April 24th against former title challenger Christopher Diaz in the main event of Top Rank card on ESPN in Kissimmee, Florida. Sources told ESPN on Thursday knockout artist Edgar Berlanga will try to continue his KO streak in the co-main event. Okay? Keeps going like this. Navarro, 33, won 28 knockouts, one loss and 28 knockouts of Mexico, was able to fight 3 times in 2020 amid the coronavirus pandemic, scoring victories over Joey Santissima in February, TKO 11, Uriel Lopez in June, TKO 6 in the 6th round, and Ruben Villa in October to win the WBO belt by unanimous decision. Okay. In 2018, Navarrez, 26, won the WBO junior featherweight title by upsetting Isaac Dodge with a unanimous decision victory on the Vasily Lomachenko Joe Jose Pedraza undercard at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York. He defended the belt 5 times, including a 12-round TKO over Dodge in the rematch in 2019 before going up in weight. Okay, here they talk about Pitufo Diaz, who is a Puerto Rican. This Puerto Rican is going to fight, lost a unanimous decision to Masuki Lito in 2018, challenging for then back in WBO junior lightweight world title. His only other loss came in April 2019 against Shakur Stevenson. Very good guy. You know, he has 2 losses. In a featherweight battle, Diaz, 26, has won some consecutive fights since then. Unanimous decision victories over Adelson Dos Santos and Jason Sanchez, both in 2020. The fight would add another chapter to the Mexican Puerto Rico rivalry in boxing. In the co-main event, we're gonna have, well, we all know Berlanga faced Demon Nickerson in a 10-round super middleweight bout. Since becoming a professional in April 2016, Berlanga 16-0, 16 KOs of Brooklyn, New York, has won all his fights via first round knockout. Nickerson 23, 3 1 23, 3 losses, 1 draw, 29 KOs. Is a power puncher that is unbeaten in his last 5 fights. You heard that? The guy is unbeaten in his last 5 fights. Not like the guy who fought Canelo Alvarez, who had lost his last fight, Abdi Judrin, and had a 2-year layoff. This guy has won five fights in a row, okay, and has a 1-year layoff. Okay, the last time he fought was last year in February of last year, okay, or in March of last until February, okay, 1 year and like 2 months, okay. So, but he has won five fights in a row, okay, 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 punching that is unbeaten in his last 5 fights after losing a 7 round TKO against Jesse Hart in 2018. Okay, so since 2018, he has won 5 fights in a row. Okay, so that's the guy who's going to fight Edgar Berlanga. So for these guys who are always talking about, Edgar Berlanga is fighting nobodies, he's fighting cab drivers, tomato cans, taxi drivers, he's fighting just bums. All of them are bums. I'm not going to laugh because, it's a waste of time. It is just a waste of time. They will always find a way to put you down. If you're a good fighter, you are a good fighter. And when you see a good fighter, you can see Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is a good fighter. You can see him by him fighting. You just have to see the guy fighting, and you will see that the guy is good. Just like Teofimo Lopez, just like Ryan Garcia, just like Errol Spence, just like Terence Crawford, just like all of this Canelo Alvarez, David Benavides, David Morel. All of these fighters are good. They are good. These guys are good. We have a lot of good fighters, and you just need to see them fight for you to know that they're good. You just need to see them fight. That's it. Okay. But let's start talking about Bob Arum, okay, and Eddie Hearns, and the ridiculous Tyson Fury, okay, because this guy is ridiculous. He's just this guy is just a loser. And I'm going to say it just like that because this guy doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder. He doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua. He just doesn't want to fight nobody. Okay, but now Bob Arum came out and said that the fight is close. Oh, once again, the fight is close. Once again, okay, we're getting closer since last year. Okay, since last year, they've been real close to making the fight. They've been real close. The only thing is that the mediation stopped Tyson Fury from fighting in December against a bum. Okay, and now the arbitration is in the way for this guy to fight Anthony Joshua. And if he goes and fight Anthony Joshua in the arbitration, and he forgets about he's in arbitration, he could get in a lot of trouble. He might do it. Bob Arum may do it. Because they're going to sue them. They're going to be sued, and they could pay. The thing is, what's going to happen with the belt? That's what I want to know. What's going to happen with the belt? Because even Anthony Joshua says that he's not going to fight Tyson Fury without a belt. So if Tyson Fury doesn't have a belt, and this fight is announced when these people are in arbitration, because they are still in arbitration, and this fight is announced, they could be in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. They're going to be sued. They could be even disqualified. They could be even suspended. They could even suspend Tyson Fury for doing this because they're going to get against the law, against the court, against a court of law. You cannot do that. You may think you can do it. You may think, but you cannot do it. Okay? These people are just going to try to get around the arbitration and make this fight happen. That's what they're trying to do because they think that they're going to get so much money that they can pay any suit. If it's like right now, Teofimo Lopez just went to Trinidad. I was going to talk about this yesterday in Spanish, and he didn't. But I'm going to touch on it today. Teofimo Lopez is a Bob Arum fighter, and he went to Thriller to make a fight because Thriller made the biggest purse, gave him the biggest purse. Okay, he's gonna win $3.4 million for that fight. He's gonna have to pay um, Bob Arum $800,000, almost a million from the 3.4 he's gonna make. Okay, so this is the same thing. Bob Arum could go make the fight against Anthony Joshua, and then they could pay the suit if they sue them, if the court sued them. Okay, but that's not the only thing. This guy could get stripped from the title, from the belt, and at the same time, he could get suspended from boxing. He could get suspended because he's going against the court. And when you're in court, you cannot go and do whatever you want to do. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it just doesn't work like that. When Deontay Wilder and Fury fighting again, nobody knows, my friend. Nobody knows. Robert Brown, thanks for your comment, man. But nobody knows. They're in arbitration right now, and nobody knows. They're trying to make the fight against Anthony Joshua. They're in arbitration with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder wants to make the fight. Tyson Fury said that he's not going to fight Deontay Wilder again. So I don't think Tyson Fury is going to fight Deontay Wilder again. I just don't think that that's going to happen. But the thing is that even if he's not going to fight, he's going to have to come to an agreement, okay, with Deontay Wilder and his team to just give up the belt. If he doesn't give but because this is not about money. Everybody's talk the Tyson Fury fans are talking about, but Deontay Wilder, all Deontay Wilder wants is money. No, it's not like that. Deontay Wilder wants to fight. If Tyson Fury doesn't fight him, then he will have to pay him. Look, they had a contract. They didn't fight because of the pandemic, and because Tyson Fury said that he was not going to fight Deontay Wilder without fans. And everybody has seen all the fights that we have had. Errol Spence fought Danny Garcia. Teofimo Lopez fought Lomachenko. These are championship fights. Championship fights. Ryan Garcia fought. Who else? We had Canelo Alvarez fighting 2 times already since the pandemic. 2 times. Edgar Berlanga fought 3 times in 2020. And you're going to tell me that Fury didn't want to fight because they didn't have no fans? I understand that they broke a record for live gates, in the arena, in the MGM. They broke a record. But if you don't have no fans or just a few fans, let's say that they could get like Errol Spence got against Danny Garcia, 16,000 fans. How many did Deontay Wilder make against Tyson Fury? 19, like almost 20,000. If Danny Garcia and Errol Spence made 16,000, just imagine how many would Deontay Wilder get against Tyson Fury and the Cowboy Stadium, where Danny Garcia fought Errol Spence. They could have get 20,000. They could have got 20,000, and the pay-per-view decide, because they sold more than a million pay-per-views in the United States. Okay, in the United States. So it is not. It is not like it is not like they were not going to make any money. Okay, the money was going to be there. The money was going to be even bigger because of the people who say that he cheated, like me. I said that Tyson Fury cheated, and many people say the same thing. So many people want to see this fight again to see if we are right or wrong. Okay, if we are wrong, Tyson Fury is going to destroy Deontay Wilder again. If we are right, then Deontay Wilder will knock out Tyson Fury. Okay, because how can you get power just like that? Some people may train to get some more power, but you don't get power just like that. You got to be born with the power. Okay, it's like Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga wasn't a power puncher in the amateurs. But he's a power puncher in professional. Okay, that's how strange the sports are. The sports are really crazy. Michael Jordan wasn't the number one pick. He was, I think, the third pick in the draft. He's the best player ever. Okay, so all the sports and boxing, when you have a puncher in boxing, you're born with it. You're born with it. You can hit. You can. There are boxers and there are punchers. Okay, and Mayweather was a boxer, and when he started, he knocked out pretty much of his opponents. Okay, a big percentage of them. But when he kept going up in the weight, he started losing power. Many people said that Mayweather he lost power because he hurt his fist. He was always hurting his fist. That's why he didn't hit that hard. But Deontay Wilder hurt his fist as well. Deontay Wilder has had many operations in his hands. How you doing, Bruce? Thanks for your comment, family. Thanks for coming and for being there, man, my friend. Welcome to my house. Okay. Thank you, Bruce. Um, it's like I said, man, all the time, all the time. You are not born if you cannot punch, you cannot punch. You can practice to get more power. You can train harder. You can hit the people more times. Okay, like Tyson Fury is a accumulation puncher. He's not a one punch knockout guy. He's gonna hit you a lot of times. Okay, and he did that against Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder wasn't the same. Okay, Deontay Wilder was just not the same guy. Deontay Wilder his legs were not there since the beginning of the fight. Since the beginning of the fight, if Deontay Wilder was knocked out after Tyson Fury knocked Deontay Wilder down in the third round, Deontay Wilder would have been knocked out in the fourth round or in the fifth. Even in the seventh round, Deontay Wilder was still throwing punches. He was still throwing punches. It was the problem wasn't in his legs. In his legs. It's not that he was not trying to defend himself. It's not that he was not trying to fight back. He was trying to fight back, but his legs weren't there. He was falling by himself. He was just falling. And even like that, Tyson Fury couldn't knock Deontay Wilder out. He had to stop the fight. And they start and Deontay Wilder's corner was the one who stopped the fight, not the referee. Okay? When Deontay Wilder told his corner not to stop the fight. That's why Mark Breland got fired. He got fired because of it. Because Deontay Wilder told them, do not stop the fight. Do not stop the fight. When your boss tells you something, if you work in any job, and your boss tells you to do something and you do another thing, you're gonna get fired. Okay? Because you don't do what you want to do. You do what your boss tells you to do. Oh, because he was hurt and I was worried about him. No, come on. Just let's just stop with this. Okay? Let's just stop with this garbage. He was worried about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder against Gohan Duhapas had his eye like this. Like this. It's okay. He was winning the fight. It was different. But Deontay Wilder is a one-punch knockout artist. One-punch knockout artist. Deontay Wilder could come out with one punch and knock out his opponent. Just like that. Just like that. Okay? So Deontay Wilder always has a chance. In his last fight against Tyson Fury, everybody was like, oh, Deontay Wilder lost the fight. It's over. What happened in the last round? For me, he knocked out Tyson Fury because the way Tyson Fury hit the ground, that was for the referee to stop the fight. And I don't think he beat the count. I really don't think he beat the count. If you think he did, that's okay. That's okay. But I don't think he did. Okay? I just don't think he did. He didn't beat the count. The referee was, I think these people were bought. Uh, um, um, what was his name? Jack Reese in the first fight, and Kenny Bayless in the second fight. These people were bought, man. I'm telling you, because you cannot. You if you see that the way Tyson Fury was fighting, he was being dirty, man. He was being dirty. He was putting his elbows in Deontay Wilder's face. He was headbutting Deontay Wilder. He was choking Deontay Wilder. He was holding Deontay Wilder and hitting him behind the head. He was doing all of these things. If you didn't see that, well, that's your problem. Okay, if you don't care that he did that, that's your problem. If you don't care, but he did all of those things, and the referee was nowhere to be found. Nowhere. He was just there to separate them to he didn't do nothing. The referee didn't do nothing. He was just looking for a chance for him to stop the fight. If Mark Brilliant didn't throw the towel, he was going to stop the fight. He was going to stop the fight because this guy got paid. I'm sure that this guy got paid. I'm sure. If you have a guy like Daniel Kinningham in your corner, a big friend of Tyson Fury, a big friend of him. It is not like Tyson Fury is his only fighter. He has a lot of more fighters. But he's a big friend of Tyson Fury and Billy Joe Saunders. Even Billy Joe Saunders was angry because of the documentary that came out against Daniel Kinningham. Billy Joe Saunders was angry because of it. And Tyson Fury was thanking Daniel Kinningham for making the two fights against Anthony Joshua. I have shown that video many times. Many times. Okay? So how can you tell me? How can you tell me that having a guy like that and you thanking the guy for making those fights happen and calling him like, thanks, that my damn my boy, real happy, like they're real close, they're real close. Daniel Kinningham and Tyson Fury are real close. But right now, Daniel Kinningham is having a lot of problems running from the law. He's not going to be there for Tyson Fury like he was for the two first fights. Okay? Because Tyson Fury cheated with his left glove in the first fight. He cheated with both of his gloves in the second fight. Once again, if you don't want to believe it, that's great with me. It is great with me, no problem. But that's what we can see in the videos. If you put them in slow motion, you can see his glove flipping all over the place. His left hand glove flipping all over the place. Hitting Deontay Wilder with his wrist part of his glove. His right hand glove look like you can see his fingers. How can you see his fingers when the glove has padding right here? A lot of padding. The only way you can see his fingers is if you remove padding. And there were no photoshops because everybody could see that the John Grusinski's page, his page, the photographer who took this picture was close. They made him close his page, so nobody could see his picture. So once again, the guy cheated, and right now the guy doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder just because Deontay Wilder said that I'm a cheater. I'm not going to fight him again. That is the biggest reason you have to fight him, to show the world that you're not a cheater. Because you're not going to fight him because you have the support of of the majority of the people, even in the United States, where Deontay Wilder is so hated. Deontay Wilder is hated. He's hated. He's a black hated man. And I'm not talking about races, okay? Because there are some black people who are not hated. But there are some of them who are. Mayweather was hated, maybe because the way they talk, Maybe because the way they address themselves, because they talk a lot. I understand Deontay Wilder. He promotes himself just like Mayweather. But Mayweather was a real cautious guy. Mayweather was always looking for every detail. He went to check the Marcos Maidana gloves, and he saw that the gloves didn't have no padding, and the commission wanted to approve the gloves. The commission approved the gloves, and Mayweather has to pay more than $1 million to Maidana so he can use so he can change the gloves because the commission approved the gloves, and you can see him touching the glove, and the gloves didn't have no padding. They just didn't have no padding. And you're gonna come to me and tell me that there's no cheating in boxing. There's just no cheating. There cannot be no cheating because the commission is there because his trainer was in Tyson Fury's locker room watching his hands being wrapped, watching the gloves. Man, anybody could cheat. Anybody could do anything in this world. If some people could go in to one of the most secure banks in the world and steal from that bank, anybody could do anything. Anybody. They could get in any place and just check on the time. We have some. This is the time that we have, so we can get in there and rob the bank, and that's what they do. They go in there, rob the bank. They just go, and sometimes they never catch the guys. Sometimes they never catch them. I saw a movie, and sometimes you say, "Oh, that's a movie," but it happens in real life. A honest thief, a Liam Neeson movie. I don't know if you people have seen it. The guy stole 9 banks. He had $9 million from the banks that he stole. He was never caught, and that's a movie. I understand, but these things happen. Even killers are never caught. There are killers who keep killing, and killing, and they never catch them. They never catch them because they know how to do it. They know how to disappear the body. They know how to erase all the evidence. They know how to do all of these things. Oh, but that's impossible. Those things cannot happen. Bob is also he forgot a lot. That's right, brother. That's right, Robert Brown. That's right. That's right, family. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Bob Arum right now is saying, the fight is almost done. The fight is almost a done deal. Eddie Hearn is saying the same thing. We're close. We're close to making the fight. Okay, so Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, they're gonna fight real soon. But we're gonna fight, make this fight happen. I don't think so. I don't think so. It could happen. It could happen. But what are the things that are gonna come after this? Okay, because if they are in arbitration, if they are because Deontay Wilder is quiet. When I see Deontay Wilder saying, "Okay, I'm just gonna forget about this guy. I don't want to fight him again. He doesn't want to fight me. I'm not gonna fight him. I'm gonna keep going with my career. I'm gonna let him keep going with his career." When I see Deontay Wilder saying that, then I'm gonna believe. I'm gonna believe that the fight is gonna happen. But right now, till I don't see Deontay Wilder saying that, because I saw Blue Blood the other day saying that Deontay Wilder was gonna fight Andy Ruiz to be an eliminator to fight the winner of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Do you really think that some of those guys, any of those guys, is going to fight Deontay Wilder? Anthony Joshua had a lot of opportunities to fight Deontay Wilder, and he did it. He did it. He was always putting a Dillian White in the middle. You have to fight Dillian White first, and then you fight me. Deontay Wilder told him, "Okay, if you're in the contract, I fight Dillian White. If I beat Deontay Wilder, if I beat Dillian White, then you're in Put your name in the contract, then I'm going to fight you next. He didn't want to do that. He asked for $50 million, and then when they got him the $50 million, he said that he wasn't going to sell his soul for $50 million. That's what he said. Okay, many people say, "Ah, that was a lie. Deontay Wilder doesn't have $50 million." It's not Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder was the messenger. Deontay Wilder was the guy that the Channing Finkel and Al Heyman sent to give the news, or the to notify Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn that the money was there. And he said, check your email. Check your email. It was in their email. And then you see Eddie Hearn saying, "Oh, this guy from Alabama, this guy from Alabama is gonna. Where is this guy from Alabama gonna get $50 million? Where?" Eddie Hearn knows more than that. You know, he just sometimes he tries to act like a fool, but he's not. He's no fool. He's a liar. That's what he is. But he's no fool. So, I have been saying for the last year, for the last year, since this came up, the thing about the gloves, okay, because it was a Canadian guy who found out about the gloves. Not the anti-Wilder corner, not the anti-Wilder's corner, not the commission, not anybody else. It was a guy from Canada, a guy who has a YouTube channel. Was a guy who found out about the gloves, flipping all around. And that was the first time they started looking at the tapes and saying, "Oh my, oh, we got to check this out. This really looks strange. This really looks strange." They kept on looking at this. They kept on studying the tapes, but not the tapes, the recording, or the CDs, or the recording from the fight, putting it in slow motion, so they can see that the gloves flipping all around, so they can see Tyson Fury's glove, his right hand glove, without padding. Okay, maybe with some something in his gloves, because Nicholas Asbury said that he went into Tyson Fury's dressing room, and he picked some gloves from another fighter that wasn't in Tyson Fury's team, and some egg weights fell from the gloves. Egg weights. I didn't know what egg weights were at the time, but now I know. Now I know. There are some little weights like this. They look like an egg. Okay, they put them in a plastic. You can put them around your wrist and your feet. Okay, you can put it around your fist, around your fist, so you can hit harder. You can put one in both sides of your fist, and that's what it looked like in some of the Tyson Fury videos that I saw. I can see a gap in the middle and some object right here and right here. That's why you see Deontay Wilder's dent in his head. He had a dent in his head. Oh, if Deontay Wilder had a dent in his head, how he couldn't be fighting with a dent in his head. He would have been in a coma, hospitalized for many months, many months. Okay, not everybody reacts to injuries the same way. Okay, not everybody reacts to injuries the same way. Deontay Wilder has do it. He has fought sick in the first fight against Luis Ortiz. Against Luis Ortiz in the first fight, Deontay Wilder was sick. He had the flu. Let me put the fan so I can get some air. It's getting hot. Okay, so that's the thing. The thing is, and I will say this again. Deontay Wilder is a strong man. Okay, he's a strong man, and we saw it in that fight. He kept getting hit, getting hit. He didn't go. He didn't stay down. Even when he didn't have had his legs, he couldn't even stand. He was just like if he was drunk or something. And that's why he said that he felt his costume heavy. He felt his costume heavy because his legs were weak. Okay, but many people, oh, Deontay Wilder said that he lost because of the costume. The costume was too heavy. He didn't say that. He just didn't say that. He said the costume felt heavy because his legs were weak. Okay, so if you are if you're gonna enter a fight and you're feeling weak and you're feeling that like you're not there, and big a big as fight as this was, Deontay Wilder couldn't turn back. You know, he had to make that fight happen. He couldn't say at the last moment, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not feeling too well. I'm not feeling good. Let's just change the schedule with all the fans in the arena already. Everybody just buying the pay-per-views. He had to fight. He had to go in there and fight. But they did something to the athlete. Man, they did everything right. And I'm almost sure, I'm almost positive that is the reason why Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder because he knows he won't be able to do the same thing again. He knows it. Tyson Fury knows it. Knows it. Many people say, "Oh, in the first fight, Tyson Fury was 40% and he beat Deontay Wilder." No, he wasn't. He was just fine. He was just fine. He fought the whole fight. And he stand up from a knockout, from a knockout. Even when for me he didn't beat the count, he still got up. He still got up and kept fighting. So if you're telling me that he wasn't ready 100%, he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that because you gotta be real. You gotta be super ready. Or he was on something. He was on something. There's the two options. Okay, he was not 100%, but he has something because many of these drugs can pass the test. That is why Mayweather told Manny Pacquiao to take Olympic style test, and Manny Pacquiao didn't want it. He didn't want it. He did it at the end. He did it for the money. He said, even if I lost, I'm gonna get a lot of money in this fight. I'm not gonna let this opportunity go by because he wasn't undefeated. Mayweather was undefeated. Mayweather had more to lose than Manny Pacquiao. And I really think that they should make all of these people use Olympic style testing. Olympic style testing. I really understand. I really think they should make all of these boxers take this Olympic style testing because many boxers are coming out with testing positive, you know. And sometimes they say it's this, sometimes they say it's that, sometimes they don't know. There was a meat that I eat, and that meat had this, and that's why I came out with that. You know, it is it is crazy because Deontay Wilder has never come out positive in any test. In any test. There are many fighters who have never come out positive in any test. They said that Mayweather came out positive, but I don't remember that. I don't remember that. So the thing is that if you're gonna defend Tyson Fury. It is hard for you to do that because the one who doesn't want to fight, and the one who said that he's not going to fight Deontay Wilder again, not ever again, not ever again, is Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is the one who said that he was not going to fight Deontay Wilder ever again because Deontay Wilder said that he was a cheater. Just take a look at that. Just listen. Just think about that. Just think about that. I have something here. I have something here that I read the other day in one of my videos. Right here. Right here. I read in one of my read videos that Bob Arum said. And let's go over here. Bob Arum says that the fight was close, and one guy from a program, I think it is a program from the zone said that he said that they should stop. They should stop telling that they're close on making the fight. They just gotta come out and say when the fight is gonna happen. Okay, and stop saying that we're close. We're just getting closer to making the fight happen. Just stop saying that. It says Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, no more issues, and standing in five ways, says Bob Arum. It says like this, okay? In boxing biggest fight, one step closer to being finalized. In one of boxing longest running sagas, the highly anticipated heavyweight showdown between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury appears to be a step closer, with Fury's American promoter Bob Arum adamant that there are no more issues. The huge unification clash, the biggest fight that can currently be made in boxing, has been discussed at length, and with the hard hitting pair of both seemingly hard hitting, man. Tyson Fury cannot hit. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. Tyson Fury cannot hit. Okay? Anthony Joshua could hit. But Tyson Fury is a boxer. He's not a puncher. Okay? So it says like this. Seemingly in their prime, after registering impressive victory in 2020, it appears that time is now right to make the fight. Speaking in the IFL TV, Arum said, I've been working on it. All points have been agreed to. Now we are scrambling around. Oh, they're scrambling around, okay? They're scrambling around. Okay, if you're scrambling around, it doesn't mean that it's close. Okay? Because scrambling around means that it's hard. Okay, it's hard. Okay, so they're scrambling around. Now we are scrambling around to get the things signed and everything. But I can say clearly, based on my view on everything, that there are no more issues. Yeah, right. Following our Adams' admission, the subject took up a decent portion of the most recent AK and Barack show on the Zone and Serum XM Fight Nation, with the fight between two of boxing's biggest names providing a lengthy negotiation period. Barack is not impressed with Adams' latest update. Okay, this is what I call pandemic behavior, declared the opinionated co-host. Pandemic behavior is acceptable during the height of the pandemic, when nothing else is going on. Every little bit of information becomes news. That's acceptable. We don't need to know every single little bit of details that goes on. When the date is official, let us know. When the date is official, let us know. When tickets are on sale, when you have a date that tickets are going on sale, please tell us. Don't tell us every single bit. We're not that starving. When it's official, tell us about it. Okay? When the fight is official, tell us about it and stop just telling every detail. Oh, we're close. This is happening. This other thing is happening. We're scrambling around. There's nothing that is going to stop the fight. Just announce the fight. Just announce the fight. And just stop talking crazy. Here's the news. It's from the song. The song. There it is. Let me just put the beginning of it. That's the beginning from the song. Okay, there they are. That news article comes from 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 the song. Okay, that is the promotional company that Eddie Hearn works in. Okay, because Anthony Joshua is not bound to that company. Anthony Joshua from Matchroom, that is the promotional company of Eddie Hearn, and Barry Hearn is his father. But Eddie Hearn worked for the song. He works for the song. Okay, and they have some good fighters. Demetrius Andre is there. Devin Haney is there. I think Ryan Garcia is there. Even Canelo Alvarez is making fights. He left his contract. He sued these people, left his contract, but at the same time, his last two fights were in the zone. Okay, so they have some good fighters in the zone. Okay, and they have Billy Joe Saunders as well. Who's going to fight Canelo Alvarez next? That's going to be the next big fight of Canelo Alvarez. I think Canelo Alvarez is just gonna destroy this. And if he doesn't destroy him, it's because Billy Joe Saunders is gonna come fighting real strategic. He's gonna stay away from Canelo Alvarez all the fight. He's gonna lose the fight by decision. Because the same thing happened to Mislandi Laras, I think is his name, the Cuban who fought Canelo Alvarez. He fought Canelo Alvarez. He was making Canelo Alvarez miss. He was just make Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez. Okay, let's go to boxing. Canelo Alvarez, when he gets to fight, guys, they are hard to hit, and they're lefties because this guy who fought Canelo Alvarez, he was I think two fights after the fight against Mayweather. Let's see, he fought Mayweather, called Floyd Mayweather. Then he fought Alfredo Angulo, and then he fought Erislandi Lara. Erislandi Lara. That was a lefty who had one lost by that time, one lost, and he was he now he has three losses. He was a real difficult guy to hit, in three draws, 27 wins and 12 by knockout. Erislandi Lara is a Cuban American who just made a real hard fight for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, and that was a split decision. Okay, a split decision. I was watching that fight. I almost watched the half of the fight. Canelo Alvarez looks good when he fights guys that are standing in front of him. But this guy, Billy Joe Saunders, is a lefty. He's not long, but he boxes. He knows how to box. He boxes pretty good. He's hard to hit. It's going to be hard for Canelo to just take clean punches on him. But it's going to be hard for him to get clean punches against Canelo because Canelo can box as well. So Canelo just got to hit him hard. The time that he hits him, he's got to hit him hard. And if Billy Joe Saunders sees that he's losing the fight at the end, he's going to try to go in and try to knock out Canelo Alvarez, and he's going to get knocked out because that's what he did in one fight that I saw him fight against a Argentinian guy who was undefeated, and the guy was beating him, and he knocked out the guy in the 11th round. In the 11th round, he came out and he started throwing punches, and he knocked out the guy. Okay, and I was like, man, that was a good fight. I'm telling you, it was a good fight because Billy Joe Saunders started winning the fight, and then the guy turned things around, and he started beating Billy Joe Saunders, the second half of the fight, and Billy Joe Saunders, everybody was saying that Billy Joe Saunders was losing the fight. And Billy Joe Saunders came out and in the 11th round and knocked the guy out. So it was a great fight, great fight. But against Canelo Alvarez, it's just a different story because that guy, that Venezuelan guy, fought all of his fights. It was his first fight in the States. His first fight. He fought all of his other fights over there in Venezuela. Okay, so that's the difference. You know, when you fight an American guy, a guy who has fought an American, who has fought international guys all of his life, in the United States, you fight people from all over the world, all over the world. I'm sorry. So that's the thing, you know. That's the thing. So Billy Joe Saunders is a pretty good fighter. A pretty good fighter. He's a lefty. It is uncomfortable to beat a lefty, just like Luis Ortiz was uncomfortable to beat by Deontay Wilder. But nobody else wanted to fight. Not even right now that the guy is even older. Nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants to fight Luis Ortiz. Dillian White didn't even ever want to fight Luis Ortiz. Tyson Fury didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz. Anthony Joshua didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz. Who was the only guy who fought Luis Ortiz twice? Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder. Okay? So let's just start with this crap. That's a old guy. That's a 70-year-old guy, 80-year-old guy, a 200-year-old guy. Povetkin is an old guy, just like Luis Ortiz. They have almost the same age. Mayweather is an old guy. He's 44. Manny Pacquiao is an old guy. He's 42. And he beat Thurman in his last fight. And now he's fighting Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia. And there are people saying that he can beat Mikey Garcia. I don't think so, but there are people who think that he can beat him. Okay? I think Mikey Garcia is going to beat Pacquiao. But there are people saying that he can beat him. He could beat him. And he's 42 years old. Luis Ortiz right now is 41. Okay, let's see if I'm right. Oh, he's 42. Because he was 38 when he fought Deontay Wilder the first time. Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is 41 years old. You see? Manny Pacquiao is 42 years old. Okay? So let's stop with this nonsense that he's old. He's old, but nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants to fight him. Nobody. Nobody wants to get in the cage as the lion. Nobody. This guy is a lefty, is a durable fighter. Even when he's older, he can fight 12 rounds like nothing. Okay? The guy is a great boxer. He can box, he can jab, he can jab, he can throw combinations. This guy has the whole package. He can punch. That's why Dillian White, Deontay Wilder told Dillian White before fighting Brazil, he told Dillian White, fight Luis Ortiz. If you beat him, then I will fight you. And he didn't fight him. And then when Deontay Wilder beat Brazil, he went to fight Luis Ortiz because Dillian White didn't want to fight him. If he beat Luis Ortiz, he could have been fighting Deontay Wilder in that fight. In the second fight that Deontay Wilder did in that year, waiting for Tyson Fury to make his two tune-up fights for top rank, so then he could fight his rematch against Deontay Wilder. Because he didn't go and fight Deontay Wilder right away after the first fight. He signed the contract with Top Rank, and Deontay Wilder waited for him. He made 2 fights against 2 bumps, and Deontay Wilder fought his mandatory, who was Brazil, who had won 3 fights in a row after losing to Joshua, and then he fought Luis Ortiz. and Tyson Fury fought Otto Walling, and he fought Tom Schwartz. Nobody knew those guys. Undefeated guys, but one for Germany, the other one from Switzerland. Come on. And one of them, they just caught the Tyson Fury in the eye. That fight should have been stopped. I mean, I'm telling you, Tyson Fury is always getting the you know the he's just getting help. He's just getting help all the time. Okay, so he knew he had to do something against Deontay Wilder, so he can beat Deontay Wilder. Because if Deontay Wilder opened that fight up again, the fight was over. Over. That fight would have been stopped because Deontay Wilder can punch. Okay, so Deontay Wilder could have took that eye out of his head with a punch. So he did anything. He did anything he could. He did anything he could to win that fight. He had help, a lot of help. And Deontay Wilder cannot send this guy again to check on somebody to check on any fighter getting their wraps or their gloves on uh, JDs. He cannot send that guy. I'm telling you, that guy is too good of a guy. He's too nice. You know, you gotta send a guy who could go in there and just be looking at what they're doing and not be laughing and talking with the fighter like JD's was doing with Tyson Fury. He was talking with Tyson Fury like they were friends. Look, that guy is not your friend. Till the fight ends, that guy is your enemy. That's the way you gotta treat him, like an enemy. You gotta be right there looking at the wraps. You gotta be right there looking at the gloves. You gotta be right there, putting attention on what they're doing. If he starts talking to you, you gotta go and no, don't talk to me. I'm here to check on your gloves and on your wraps. Okay, don't talk to me. That's the way you gotta do it. That's the way you gotta do it. You just cannot go in there and be like, you're there just because Deontay Wilder sent me here to check on his club. I'm just gonna be here just laying back and having fun with Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury is a real funny guy, you know, and we're gonna laugh at everything he says. You know, Nassim Richardson who caught a Margarito. That was the guy who caught Margarito. The guy who cheated against Miguel Cotto. He cheated against. He was trying to cheat mostly. And Nassim Richardson was the Shane Mosley's trainer. He caught a Margarito trying to cheat. That guy was a real serious guy. If that guy was in Tyson Fury's dressing room, he would have been like real serious right there, just watching the wraps and the gloves. He would have been right there like this, like this. No, nobody would have even talked to him. Nobody. He even made Tito Trinidad change his gloves in a fight. And I really don't think that was because Felix Trinidad was cheating. That was a strategic thing that he did to work with Tito Trinidad's mind. Because this when you gotta have people like that, like Mayweather. Mayweather is surrounded by people like that. He's like that. He works with the mind of the people, with the mind of his opponents, with the mind of the opponent's trainer. And that's what you got to do. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. That's all you know. If the fight happens and they announce the fight, then we can believe on it. Okay? We can believe. But things could come after that. They're going to sue them. He could be suspended. He could if he loses the case. If Tyson Fury loses the case, he could get suspended He could get stripped from the title. And if Joshua beats him, he's going to get stripped from the title, and then he's going to be sued and he could be suspended. Okay, those are the things that could happen if he goes and fight Anthony Joshua. And what else can Bob Arum do? Bob Arum is just going to try to make the fight. Because what does Bob Arum wants? Bob Arum wants money. That's what Bob Arum wants. He wants to make money. Tyson Fury said, Bob Arum, ESPN needs to get me 2 fights this year. I don't care if it's Joshua or anybody else. Well, ESPN has to get me 2 fights. Do you really think Tyson and Bob Arum is going to get him 2 bumps for him to fight? So Bob Arum is going to lose money in ESPN? No way, man. No way. Bob Arum is going to try his best to make this fight happen. His best. Okay? So that's all I have, my people. Like always, my people, thanks a lot. I love you all. Thanks for the people who tuned in. Thanks to Robert Brown who commented and Bruce Goose. Thank you, my people. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Boricua Science Nation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Don't forget to ring that icon bell so you can get the notifications and follow me on Twitter, my people. Okay? Like always, God bless Israel, God bless the United States of America, and God bless you all, my people. I will see you in my next video.